This grueling string of games has not slowed the Blue Jays. They'll look for a third straight victory over the Boston Red Sox tonight here on Sportsnet. And at the same time, while you're watching, you can also support the Jays Care Foundation. It's the annual broadcast auction, so let's toss it over to our host, Ivanka Osmak.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Yeah, this is always a very special night, very exciting, and I feel like I'm in the middle of a Blue Jays museum. There's so much to see. There's so much history and memorabilia in this little area, but the difference between a museum and an auction tonight is that someone's going to be going home with every single one of these items. There's more than 50 items that you can bid on tonight, including a meet and greet with a player, golf with alumni. There's, how about a date night, center field at the Rogers Center, or go on the road with the Jays to see them play in a different ballpark. I think my favorite, if you can see right before that, is a Dylan Cease original painting. That's right, Toronto inspired. That is done by none other than the pitcher, and I know that is going to be going for some big bucks. How cool is that to have on your walls? So all the details for the items can be found on bluejays.com/auctions. There's also the 50-50 draw. Don't forget about that extra incentive to buy your 50-50 ticket tonight ahead of the draw on Sunday night. There's some extra prizes you could win if you buy your ticket tonight. I'll have the details throughout the game, but of course visit bluejays.com/auctions and /50-50 for all of it. The auction will close at 10 o'clock Eastern. Jamie, back to you.
Great stuff, Ivanka. Thank you so much. Jose Soriano introduced to the crowd here at the Rogers Center, making his first appearance as a member of this team at home. It's a sizable crowd awaiting, and he'll be handling the Boston Red Sox next on Sportsnet.
Cars, homes, and businesses.
And he has done it again. They brought the jacket back. Cranks it to left field. Racing into second with a stand-up double. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. A rainy day and evening here in Toronto. The roof is closed at Rogers Center, and Jose Soriano is making his home debut as a Blue Jay. And let's take a look now at the lineup for the visiting Boston Red Sox, who after being so hot suddenly have lost 4 in a row. Wilyer Abreu homered last night. He's now got 5 home runs in his last 8 games. Adley Rutschman is in there for the second night in a row, catching and batting third. A very familiar group based on the last couple of games. Soriano will face the Red Sox for the first time this year. Did not see them this season while with the Angels.
Second start in a Blue Jays uniform. First start in the home whites for Soriano and his new team, acquired at the trade deadline. 4 2/3 innings in Philadelphia, but it took him 94 pitches, so a little erratic. Got tons of swing and miss. The curveball really stood out for me. We'll see if he uses that pitch a lot here tonight. Was that more situation specific against a Phillies lineup? We'll find out against these Boston Red Sox.
The power sinker, two-seamer, is the other pitch that you really notice when it's on. He gets a ton of ground balls. Masataka Yoshida DHing and leading off, and takes a strike. It's 0-1. That was the sinker. It's 96 miles an hour. The numbers for Yoshida, who will be followed by Cedar Rafaela and then Adley Rutschman. Outside, a ball and a strike. Last season, Soriano led the majors in ground ball percentage, and by a wide margin. This year, he's still among the leaders, but throwing the sinker less, the four-seamer more, so not as many ground balls. The Blue Jays may have tweaked the arsenal a little bit. Also probably, Joe, a work in progress. This is just his second start.
Yeah, I think one thing that the Blue Jays are very good at, and especially Pete Walker and his staff, is when they get their eyes on a new pitcher. Let's see what he's got. Let him go a little bit, but we'll see if that maybe was an early impact that he had. Clearly, sinker curveball splitter to a lot of those lefties against the Phillies.
tell you who's glad he's a Blue Jay. The Blue Jay hitters. They don't have to face him anymore, and a few of them were saying, man, he's nasty, like he could tell me what was coming and I didn't have a chance. Ernie Clement's going to make the play. Ernie, the one exception, kind of tongue-in-cheek, said, I got pretty good numbers against him. I'm almost sorry to see him come to our side, but obviously joking, and then without a smile on his face said he's top 5 stuff-wise in baseball.
And that was the first curveball that he threw after some high-velocity fastballs getting Yoshida out front. It's been a very, very good pitch for him, and just makes you wonder if it's such a good pitch, maybe throw it more. That's what it looked like against the Phillies.
There's the ground ball rate, second in the American League. Number 2 hitter is Rafaela. Hit his 16th home run of the season last night to tie a career high. Got about 6 weeks to break that and build on it. And early on, Soriano locked in on the strike zone. Walks can be an issue at times for him, but when he is in and around the strike zone, everything should go just fine.
Sinkers down and in. The curveball should play away, 2 opposite directions. Looks like Kirky's coming back in there.
Got him. A nasty 2-seamer at 98. No chance for Rafaela.
That is some great movement on that pitch, diving down with high velocity.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOUT. Soriano, the big acquisition by the Blue Jays at the trade deadline. Here's another ground ball off the bat of Adley Rutschman right to Jimenez, and that's a really solid 3 up, 3 down, top of the first for Jose Soriano. He did last night. Charles McAdoo worked a walk, drove in a run on a sac fly, and Brett Bateman hitting a 2 spot a night ago is back in there again tonight. Had a single, a double, and a couple of RBIs last night. Kaz Okamoto is back in there, but he's DHing, so McAdoo is at third, and Jesus Sanchez gets a rare start against a left-hander tonight.
Ranger Suarez is 30 years old. The Blue Jays have seen him a couple of times already this year, and he was absolutely dominant. 12 innings in total. Have not scored on him, 1 walk against 16 strikeouts. It's been a bit of an up and down year. He signed a 5-year, $140 million free agent contract to come to Boston, and while it's gone well, he hasn't really pitched real well, hasn't had a quality start since the end of June. So it's been a bit of a struggle, battled a bit of a groin injury. That's when the Blue Jays saw him last. He just went 4 scoreless in that one.
So still building up after coming off the IL a couple of weeks ago. A lot of pitches, none of them overpowering, but as you've heard us often say about so many left-handers, it seems these days, he can change speeds, move the ball around, lives on the edges, that sort of thing. Right now trying to make sure the pitch comm is working.
He will work these right-handers away, away, away some more with the changeup, the sinker, and he'll wall you out there, but then he'll run that 4-seamer or cutter in, up and in to keep you honest.
McAdoo, who homered Monday night, has had a couple of good days since getting recalled from the minors, and he takes it a little up and in for ball 1. McAdoo leading off, Bateman hitting second. Second game in a row. Right at the top of the zone, 1-1. Breaking ball misses well off the outside corner, ball 2. If you're a righty, you've got about 5 different pitches to think about, and they all move in different directions. 3-1.
He'll use the 4-seamer and the cutter up and in. He'll go away with the sinker and the changeup. Then he's also got the curveball. So yeah, a lot of them, and he uses them all. So you can't really sit on anything in particular. He's a guy that will try to nibble on the edges.
Like that, inside corner for a strike, and it's full. And that was 91 on his 4-seamer, and that's about it.
And I wonder, he's in a good hitter's count there, McAdoo, but maybe he's thinking more middle away, so he let that go. We'll see if he's thinking out there. Coming in again.
jammed him and he fouled it off.
It's not a bad approach against a guy like Suarez, but you have to stay consistent with that approach. He's battling now with 2 strikes, so he did the old emergency hack to stay alive.
McAdoo pretty much right up on the plate in a closed stance at the outset. You don't see many guys with a closed stance anymore. That'll get him inside corner. McAdoo knew it. 1 down.
Defensively for Chad Tracy's Boston Red Sox, all the same tonight as last night. Duran, Rafael, and Abreu are in the outfield left to right. You see plenty of gold gloves out there. On the infield, it's Durbin and Monasterio on the left side, Sogard and Contreras on the right, and the newest Boston Red Sox, Adley Rutschman, back behind the plate for his 2nd game.
Number 2 hitter again tonight, the rookie outfielder Brett Bateman, who is 6 for 22 in his first 5 games in the big leagues. A .273 average, got a couple of doubles. He drove in 2 runs last night, has 3 overall. Hits it sharply. It is knocked down there by Sogard. A tough hop, but he comes up with it, snares it, and makes the play. 2 down.
Bateman all over this slider from Suarez, almost like he was looking for it. Can't hit it much harder on 1 hop, but Sogard does a nice job flagging it down and then recording the out.
So with 2 down and the bases empty, here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who has never had a hit off Ranger Suarez in 9 career at-bats. Right on the outside corner, and that call seemed to stun Guerrero.
No challenge.
No challenge. It's early, and it looked like it might have been a little bit outside. You could certainly see Guerrero was surprised by the call. That one clearly in there, and it's 0-2.
Not looking for the fastball, obviously. When you take a fastball right there, you see the frustration, Vladdy there. Got caught looking on that fastball last night, and that may still be haunting him.
And now very quickly has to get into battle mode here with a 2-strike count on him. Off the outside corner. Suarez, a guy who can make you a little bit jumpy, your feet moving around, you're leaning out, then he'll try to bust you in, you look in, he's soft away.
It's not an overpowering fastball, but the way he pitches, that 90-91 probably looks 95-96 when he comes up and in. Both the 4-seamer and the cutter in there.
Taken low, 2-2. You could see Rutschman liked the location, kind of acknowledged it, but Guerrero didn't bite. Rutschman getting to know an entirely new pitching staff here, just acquired by the Red Sox.
And that's a pitch you're baiting him a little bit. You're trying to get that chase, but Vladdy not going for it.
Pokes this one down the right field line. Abreu in the corner will make the catch in fair territory for out number 3.
Welcome back to the Jays Care broadcast auction. How lucky for me to be hanging out with Ace and Bran, Jays Care 50-50 seller, and yes, this big check for could $1.5 million with your name here could be yours. Right now, the jackpot for the 50-50 is at over $814,000. But by the end of this homestand Sunday, it is projected to reach at least $1.5 million. And how cool to win this. Of course, you can buy your 50-50 raffle ticket in participating provinces at bluejays.com/50-50 if you're not at the Rogers Center and you don't see someone like Bran walking around the dome. There's already been 6 Blue Jays fans that have become millionaires this season, so maybe you could be number 7.
Ivanka, thank you. Great to have you with us tonight. Ivanka will be handling all of the festivities around the Jays Care broadcast auction, one of the best nights on our calendar, trying to raise as much money as we can for Jays Care to support all they do for kids across the country, helping them play baseball, get the equipment they need to build the fields that need to be built from coast to coast to coast, and that 50-50 draw is another way to help out. No score, top two, and here's Wilson Contreras to lead it off against Jose Soriano. Contreras 0 for 7 in the series through the first two games. Looks at a strike, and it's 1-1. Their most prolific hitter on the season, despite being cold the last several days. Chopped foul, 1-2.
And now you know where that quote came from, where some of the Blue Jays players, he could tell you what's coming.
Yeah.
A lot of movement on that sinker. We've seen it in 96, 97.
American League Pitcher of the Month for March, April. A 3.24 ERA coming in. The appeal didn't go. You know, if you think about it, and there are different kinds of pitchers, obviously, but Dylan Cease, great stuff. Sometimes an issue with walks, comes to Toronto and has had a great season. They have helped him, and he has helped himself, obviously, take his game to another level. As this is lifted to center field, back in right center, still tracking it, is Strong. There are some similarities to Soriano. Again, the arsenal is different, but great stuff. Sometimes doesn't get as deep into the game as you would like because the walks can be a little high. And Pete Walker and crew and staff hoping to help him reach another level.
Yeah, I think what is most similar to me, it's the power game. They both throw very good fastballs. Dylan more of the four-seam variety at the top of the zone, whereas from Soriano, it's going to be more of that sinker. Soriano's curveball, probably much like Cease's slider in terms of effectiveness. Very good secondary pitch.
Number 5 hitter for the Red Sox again tonight, the right fielder Wilyer Abreu hit his 21st home run of the season last night. I mean, you can just see the movement on that pitch. That is the sinker or two-seam fastball, and it looks like it's got a mind of its own on its way to the plate. Hitters will often describe a sinker like Soriano has as being a heavy ball or a bowling ball because you hit it and it just doesn't go anywhere.
Hitters will do it, so will catchers,
right.
Because that's what it feels like. It feels like a shot put coming into your catcher's mitt. So if it's feeling like that into your hand, you know what it's feeling like off the bat.
Grounded sharply down to first and picked nicely by Guerrero. 2 down. So 5 in a row set down by Soriano to begin the night. And he'll now face the third baseman for the Red Sox, Caleb Durbin. Hitless in the series, 0 for 8 the first couple of games. And again, not to belabor the point, that's the two-seamer. You see the movement, and you see guys hitting the top half of the baseball so many times.
We saw Dylan Cease against Durbin last night, really overpowering him with his four-seam fastball. Now Soriano more of the sinking variety, but still it's the point, it's the high velocity that they seem to be attacking Durbin with.
0-2.
He has a four-seam fastball, that's it right there, but you can see a little bit more straight and more true. Even a little bit of cut to that ball, glove side.
Got him. Strikes him out on 3 pitches. And what a start Jose Soriano is off to here in his home debut as a Blue Jay. Overpowering the Red Sox right now. Kinds of rain around the area today and tonight, so the roof is closed at Rogers Center for this game, but we still have the bird's eye view provided by WestJet, the official airline of the Toronto Blue Jays. You know, the funny thing about ballparks with a roof is when you need the roof, nobody's ever bothered by the fact that you have a roof.
Nothing funny about that. Right. It's the greatest thing there is.
Yeah. If it's supposed to start at 7:07, it's starting at 7:07.
Both teams knew there will be a baseball game tonight, and 40,000 plus inside this building knew there will be a baseball game tonight.
Bottom 2, no score. Alejandro Kirk hitting cleanup tonight. And a curveball in for a strike from Ranger Suarez. Kirk went 2 for 3 with a walk last night. and is hitting .364 his last 15 games. Not a lot of power. Of those 20 hits that he's had, 18 of them have been singles, the other 2 home runs, but he is making very good contact and getting on base at a very high clip. Popped up, foul down the line. Contreras racing after it and unable to come up with it despite a good sliding attempt. So out in front of Kirk now, 1-2. Valenzuela started the opening game of the series Monday night. Kirk last night and tonight. Day game tomorrow, 3:07 start, so maybe Valenzuela's back in there for the finale.
A couple of slower curveballs to start the at bat, and there's that fastball rushing in.
So you'll notice Kirk in the cleanup spot. No George Springer tonight, again dealing with that left shoulder issue. Not serious. John Schneider says he is available tonight as Kirk stays alive. Just sounds maybe like kind of a managing maintenance kind of thing. Give Springer a day here and there at this point.
Well, he's battling through it a little bit. Last night, after a couple of outs early, he was able to draw a walk and scored a run, flipped out a base hit later on.
And the good curveball again from Suarez to get Kirk.
Not a pitch that he throws a ton compared to the 2 fastballs in cutter, but this is a really good variation that changes it up on the Blue Jays catcher. Good spin.
Second strikeout of the night for Suarez. And with 1 out in the bottom of the second, here's Kazuma Okamoto back into the lineup after missing the last 2 games. Fouled a ball off the inside of his left knee. Was in the lineup both nights, was scratched both nights. Back in there, but as the DH tonight. Was on the field before the game today doing some stuff at third base, taking some ground balls, testing that out. So hopefully that means he can be back in there defensively as well tomorrow afternoon. Oh, Suarez, even though he's not overpowering, not afraid to come up and in on right-handed batters.
4-seam fastballs up there, cutters up there. It's a pattern we have seen from him, and it's been a very successful one for him in his career, despite his recent struggles and stumbling just a bit.
He threw one of the best games anybody has thrown against the Blue Jays this season back in April here. 8 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Faced them again 3 starts ago after coming off the IL. 4 scoreless innings. This is hooked down the left field line, and that's going to be in there and up against the wall on a bounce. Okamoto on his way to second and in there with a double.
Might be doing Okamoto a bit of a favor from the left side. That curveball coming down and in to him, and that helps right into the path of his barrel. Thought maybe they'd think more changeup away, but he's out front, but stays through it very well, drilling it into the left field corner to the wall.
And Okamoto, a much needed hit for him. He had been scuffling even prior to the knee injury, so he's at second with 1 out for Andres Jimenez, who brings a little mini 6-game hitting streak into this one. Went 1 for 3 last night. Just inside, and it's 2-0. We tend to see, I'm sorry, Joe, we tend to see more chase from Jimenez kind of up and away rather than in on him. A little more patient in there.
Righties will run it in. You don't see too many lefty sinkers like that. And left-handed hitters are the ones they've been able to get to Suarez a little bit. It's mostly been on the fastballs, the 4-seamer and the sinker.
The count 2-1. And a swing and a miss, 2-2. To 93 on that fastball from Suarez. An all-star this year, although he didn't pitch in the game because of the injury. Also an all-star a couple of years ago when he was still with the Phillies. stays alive.
There's that very short 2-strike stroke we see from Jimenez, and we know he's had a lot of big hits lately, and some with 2 strikes. And that's how he's trying to get that barrel to the baseball very quickly. Short path.
Okamoto off second, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And now Rutschman tells Suarez to step off. They couldn't agree on a pitch, and the pitch clock was running down. In the air to shallow right field, and Abreu the catch. Okamoto back to second, 2 down. So now it'll be up to Ernie Clement, playing second, batting 7th, hitting .281 on the season. Clement went 0 for 4 last night, did pick up an RBI on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. It into right center for a base hit. Okamoto's around third. He'll score easily, and Ernie Clement has given the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead.
Well, we know Ernie's not going to wait around for anyone, and he tees off on the first pitch. It's a sinker, but it's a beautiful swing path. Dan, you noted his swing path last night on that ball that he hit to second base when George Springer scored. Look at how he stays inside this baseball, trying to pull the hands in and shoot it that way. He'll do that on occasion when he's scuffling. That time is right now, and I think he might be on to a little something, maybe using the whole field a little more.
And now he's running. And he's in there safely. Number 5 on the season in 6 tries for Clement.
Left-handed pitcher on the mound, your best shot is to go first move, and they just guessed and guessed right. Once you guess right, probably not a catcher throwing you out anywhere.
So he's put himself in scoring position for Jesus Sanchez. Kind of the domino effect of Springer not being in the lineup tonight leads to Sanchez being in there against a lefty. He rarely starts against lefties. He's hitting just .148 against lefties. See if he can come through and knock home another run. Takes down and in. It's 3-0.
Ranger Suarez really struggled in his last start against the White Sox. He only lasted 3 innings because he had a 42-pitch 3rd inning. Just could not find the strike zone. Very inconsistent. A lot of misses arm side away to those righties.
And he's not fully stretched out since coming back off the IL. I wouldn't think he's throwing 100 pitches tonight. No. He's probably more 80, 85 if things go well. Down and away. Ball 4. Sanchez aboard. And an opportunity now for Miles Straw as Rutschman heads to the mound, and Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach, is going to join him as well. They want to get an early read on Ranger Suarez right now.
Well, that at-bat is less than ideal. Sanchez is the guy you want to get, especially in that lefty-lefty matchup, and just the one pitch finding the zone. So that's a free pass for Sanchez and brings your number 9 hitter up and definitely turns that lineup over.
And a guy in Miles Straw who came up with a very important hit last night. The Blue Jays were up by a run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and he had a 2-out RBI double to give Spencer Miles a little bit more breathing room, a 2-run lead instead of a 1-run lead when he took them out of the 9th inning and eventually secured his first big league save. But you know, those add-on runs, insurance runs, whatever you want to call them, they are much appreciated by all the other guys in the dugout.
And we'll see what he's looking for here. We were down on the field early batting practice, and David Popkins was feeding the machine, and it looked like some cutters coming out of it. Similar to that right there. That was a 4-seamer, but working up and in, because as we've been discussing, that's where Suarez will go.
And Straw kind of trying to be short and quick and pull the ball down the left field line. Oh, and 2. There's the cutter in a pretty good spot.
Yep. Sometimes you just don't pick it up right away. Maybe Miles didn't pick that up. It looked like a good pitch to hit, but that's easy to say when you're up here. You're not seeing the pitcher's delivery, deception, release point.
Takes it down and away. The run the Blue Jays have scored this inning is the first they have ever scored off Suarez, and he's pitched 23 innings in his career against them. First earned run. Hit to right field, but Abreu is there to make the play and end the inning. The Blue Jays, though, do take the lead as Clement drives in Okamoto.
Come back. Toronto's deadline moves didn't just retool their roster, it injected a jolt of pure adrenaline. The new faces are producing, there's buzz in the dugout, they're winning ball games again, and it looks like they're having fun once again. Now, when you acquire new players, no matter their status in the game, whether they've been DFA'd or recalled or getting a new opportunity or toiled in the minors, John Schneider told me that there's a freshness to that. And when you get contributions from those players, it really allows them to be a little more relaxed more quickly, and you start seeing results. At this time of the year, Dan, when everyone's tired mentally and physically, to be able to add energetic guys who are playing well has to be a huge boost both on the field and in the clubhouse. And what a boost Jose Soriano has given this team in the early goings. Guys?
Okay, so thank you. You see Josh Smith in your screen now. You saw the highlights of Charles McAdoo and Brett Bateman. A lot of changes. And in the case of McAdoo and Bateman specifically, in an infusion of youth, two guys at the very, very beginning of what they hope will be long, productive Major League Baseball careers. And you and I were down in the field for some early, well, we weren't taking batting practice. They were taking early batting practice. We were observing and just kind of being around. And Miles Straw was down there. Ernie Clement was down there. Josh Smith was down there initially. And a lot of the talk was about energy and confidence. And swing and a miss as Duran goes down on strikes. And how something feels, and not to get carried away or anything, but something feels a little more 2025-ish right now. You know, out teaming the other team, everybody doing their part, that sort of thing. The mood has lightened in the last couple of days, and maybe some of that is just getting through the uncertainty of the trade deadline, but also bringing in some young guys who are helping out.
And some of the faces were just showing right there. You look at like a Clement, a Bateman, that Josh Smith. The list goes on and on. These guys are kind of those scrappy kind of gamer types. So when you are playing that way, which this team has been doing, and then you're winning games, it becomes a lot of fun for the players too. I know the fans are probably enjoying this style of play, but if you're a Charles McAdoo and you come up to the big leagues, you want to really contribute. So he gets up here and he does. He hits a big home run, big sac fly here or there. So you do some things that you feel like a contributor. And I always said you have to have a little bit of success before that confidence rises, and when you do, you start playing with that little air of confidence, and that's what this team is looking like right now. So hopefully they can keep it rolling.
Right, and the math is not exactly in their favor. Yeah. There are still several teams ahead of them for the final wild card spot. But to a man, ask them how they're feeling, and they'll say 2.5 hours. Like they know they're in it, and you know they're not looking at fan graphs and odds and stuff like that. They're just saying, playing well, 2.5 out. Let's see what happens. This is popped up, foul back at the plate, a full count now on a Monasterio. I think they know they're not a juggernaut, but I think they believe they can compete in any given game with any team. They've got some good pitching, and I don't know if we can say the bats have come to life, but they certainly are being much more competitive and productive, getting some hits with men on base more often. That's low, ball 4. The first base runner for the Red Sox. You know, and I would imagine too after the deadline, I mean the guys who got traded in Gausman, Varsho, and Hoffman meant a lot to everybody in that clubhouse. Gausman had been here 5 years. Varsho had been here 4 years. Hoffman in his second year, and a big voice in the clubhouse as well. And you know, you turn the page, but it probably takes more than a a day or two, but then to start playing well in the aftermath of that probably allows them to turn the page a little more easily.
It does, but you think of what those guys all experienced together last year. That's something a lot of them will never forget. It certainly spilled over into this year. Unfortunately, the performance on the field did not spill over. So I think everyone understood around the trade deadline the situation that they were in. There were going to be some new faces, but I think a lot of them down there right now are pretty happy with the way the Blue Jays handled it. This was not a sell-off. There were moves, there were guys sent out, but there were also some guys brought in for the future, but also for the now.
Down to first. Guerrero steps on the bag, and now they got Monasterio in a rundown. Back to Soriano for the tag, and that'll be that. They execute it perfectly. One more look. Guerrero, another good defensive play. There's one. And everybody doing their job on the rundown to make quick work of the Red Sox.
Welcome back to the Sportsnet Jays Care broadcast auction. August 29th is going to be a very big and special day for the Blue Jays. Not only are they unveiling their Hall of Excellence on the 100 level, but they will have their first inductee there, Buck Martinez, the legend that Buck is. So it's only fitting that there is a Buck Martinez memorabilia package available for you to buy in tonight's auction. Features an autographed jersey, baseball, a cutout of him as well, and I mean, the creme de la creme. Check out this bobblehead that will be given away that day against the Mariners on the 29th. The Stachio player that Buck was, the manager, and of course, getting into the broadcast booth. They even have his hair perfectly coiffed, as it always is, guys. So just a wonderful tribute to Buck, well deserved, and can't wait for the 29th. Dan?
Ivanka, thank you. It's going to be an awesome day. First 15,000 fans will get that Buck bobblehead on their way into the ballpark. Can't wait to see Buck again and to see him inducted into the soon to be renamed Hall of Excellence here at Rogers Center. Ooh, 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom three, and Charles McAdoo went after a pitch that he didn't really want to go after, but couldn't check the swing and fouled it off 1-1.
That cut fastball from Suarez, you see, just keeps running up there. You start your swing, but then you want to stop it, but your body just keeps on going.
Swing and a miss again, and he's a little bit in between right now with Suarez, and was in the first inning as well.
We'll see if he doesn't just stay up there. And again, he could go up there, but he's also got the other weapons to go down with a changeup or the breaking pitches, one of the other, curveball or the slider.
Fights it off, but a nice play made by Contreras at first for out number one.
Went back up with the four-seam fastball up above the zone too. Suarez having fun with his first baseman, saying, see how far you got up? I can get a credit card under those feet. Just trying to fight off that pitch with 2 strikes. It's a former catcher, though. He's an athlete.
That goes without saying. One down, and here's an athlete. Brett Bateman is in the box. And a sharp ground ball and one hop out to second his first time up. We mentioned, we got a challenge. Hang on.
The pitch was called the ball. The catcher challenged.
Natalie Rutschman challenging. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. And that got plenty of the plate, so it's 0-1.
Ball's overturned. The pitch is a strike. Boston has 2 challenges remaining.
Bouncer softly hit to third. Durbin will just get him. A very close play to retire Bateman, 2 down. So a couple of pretty quick outs here for Suarez in the bottom of the third. And that'll bring up Guerrero, who hit a fly ball down the right field line. Abreu the catch in the first.
You can see a couple of young hitters there, really not in tune with the veteran pitcher on the mound. Some very awkward looking swings from both McAdoo and Bateman. like Vladdy that time might have been just going up there looking for something off speed, and he got a pretty big hack, but came up empty. I think it's that curveball, just fouling it off.
Got it again. 0-2.
When you're struggling as a hitter, you'll try things, and one at bat you might say, I'm going to be patient, going to make sure he comes into the zone. Another at bat you might say, I'm tired of this, I'm just going to go up hacking at my first pitch, and you're just fighting yourself mentally all the time.
Up the middle and into center, a base hit for Guerrero. And that's a joke there from Vladdy. He's saying, get that baseball. To get that he's making fun of unless this is an actual milestone for him. I think he's just poking fun at himself for having struggled recently. And you know what, if that's what he's doing, I mean, good on him for trying to keep it light, and this has obviously been very tough on him. Maybe this is something. I don't know. It doesn't look like a milestone.
We'll see if it goes to the authenticator. Yeah. DeMarlo might just put it in the ball bag.
Yeah, I think that's just going in Vladdy's area. That's just Vladdy kind of lightheartedly poking fun at himself. He's aboard with 2 down for Kirk, who struck out in his first at bat. And Suarez threw him a couple of really good curveballs in that first at bat. That's a changeup again, off speed, down and away. Boy, he does not want to throw him a fastball.
We said that's been a little bit of the resurgence from Alejandro Kirk, handling the secondary pitches a little bit better also. They're different here from the left side.
Boy, he handled that one, but he hit it so hard, and he hooked it foul. He squared that up, but just a little bit out in front.
When hitters are feeling good at the plate, and when your timing is right and you are in sync, you can hit anything. You can hit the fastballs, the breaking balls. You can tend to be on time for a lot of different pitches. It's a very good feeling, and every hitter wishes it would last 6 months. It just doesn't work that way.
So it's 2-2 on Kirk. And a ground ball left side, long throw, and in time as Monasterio makes the play to get Kirk and to retire the Blue Jays in the bottom of the third.
It doesn't get more unique and one of a kind than this Blue Jays legend home run jersey being painted right now, actually right now, by David Arrigo. And we're always so lucky that David donates his time and craft and skill to the Jays Care broadcast auction. And of course, these are legendary home runs in the franchise. Where were you moments? Joe Carter, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and then from last year's postseason run, of course, Vlad Guerrero Jr. and George Springer as well. And David, you do such a remarkable job of capturing the emotion perfectly of all these players. So you can bid and you can buy this jersey, BlueJays.com/auctions, and check out all the other items available in tonight's broadcast auction. Dan?
Ivanka, thank you. All proceeds going to Jays Care and their endeavors to help kids across the country. That's cool. That's one of a kind. 1-0 Blue Jays going to the top of the fourth. The Blue Jays have won the first 2 games of this series. The Red Sox, who had been the hottest team in baseball, and the hottest team like in years and years, really, with a 32-5 stretch, they've now lost 4 in a row. The last 2 against the A's over the weekend, the first 2 here. Here's Masataka Yoshida, who grounded out in the first. So we talked a little bit about the, kind of the energy and the vibe in the clubhouse, and you talked about it wasn't a straight sell-off. They moved some guys, but they also brought some guys in. And Jose Soriano was obviously the biggest piece that they acquired. And in effect, he is sliding into Kevin Gausman's spot on the rotation. Gausman, 35 years of age, eligible for free agency at the end of the year. Soriano, 27 years old, and not eligible for free agency until after the 2028 season. So 2 more years beyond this year. Now they gave up a lot to get him, including Arjun Namala, one of their top prospects. This is line to left center. It's a long run for Straw, and he's got the wheels to get there. But you can see, even if you've never seen Soriano pitch before, you can see the quality of the arm, and the Blue Jays are hoping that this guy, maybe if they can tap into his full potential, could almost be like a Cone #1 with Dylan Cease.
This is what the Toronto Blue Jays have been doing for a while, right? When you think of the investment they've been making in starting pitching, and now Kevin Gausman is gone, but what those 5 years that you got from Kevin Gausman with some playoff runs, and now you fast forward and you've got Dylan Cease and Jose Soriano leading your rotation. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch if you were to get into the playoffs. If the Blue Jays somehow do this, and again the odds are stacked against them getting to the postseason, but can you imagine entering a wild card series with Cease and Soriano? I know a lot of teams that don't want to face that.
Yep. What we don't know is if Trey Savage will be back. We know he had surgery for a meniscus injury. John Schneider termed it successful surgery. They are not ruling him out. In terms of coming back this season, it is week to week right now. Down the left field line, and that'll drop in fair. The first hit of the game for the Red Sox. Rafaela, a big turn, and then gets back to first. The throw from Sanchez went over the head of Clement, and Soriano ran it down.
Well, coaches always teach everybody should be moving when the baseball is hit, and this is a nice job by the pitcher, being heads up, reading the throw, and Sanchez just launched this baseball right out of his hand. I'm sure Vladdy would have made the move too, but good job on the pitcher.
Guerrero actually applauding Soriano for getting involved in that play. We saw him involved in the rundown too. Here's Rutschman. So this is where you hope Soriano's ability to get a ground ball comes into play. You get a ball on the ground here, dangerous hitter, got a chance to turn 2. Rutschman's second game in a Red Sox uniform after 5 years in Baltimore.
Got Rutschman to hit a ground ball on a sinker in his first at bat.
Rutschman did not like the call. He's not going to challenge it. It's 1-1.
And the high ground ball rates because he gets ground balls on almost everything. The splitter's going down, the sinker's moving down.
That one will bounce in the dirt and off the mitt of Kirk, and the runner's trying for third, and he's going to be out. Rafaela got a little bit greedy, and he's out trying to go from first to third on a wild pitch.
Well, when you can run, you can get a little excited because you see something happening behind you, and Rafaela's taken off on the ball in the dirt. Kirk taking a split second before he goes and gets this baseball, but he thought he's got to pick it up, turn around, and throw a strike to third, but that's exactly what Alejandro did. Good recovery.
Now the 2-1 to Rutschman. Fair ball. Kirk's throw in time. And what looked like it might have been a promising inning for the Red Sox ends quickly.
Welcome back to the Jays Care broadcast option. promotion, and Blue Jays fans, don't forget to purchase your 50-50 ticket. Right now, the jackpot is over $870,000, but it is projected to hit $1.5 million by Sunday's draw. Of course, proceeds from 50-50 support baseball programming for kids in your community, so don't miss out. For participating provinces, you can buy a ticket at bluejays.com/50-50. Dan?
Ivanka, thank you. It's gone up over $60,000 since the beginning of the game tonight. And I bet you we can get this thing over $1 million by the end of the game.
Well, I hope Ivanka stays very busy tonight.
Yes.
And everybody else taking in those bids.
Kazuma Okamoto, who doubled and scored in the second. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Right at the top of the zone, 1-1. Way up in the air to left center, about as high of a fly ball as you will ever see here at this ballpark. Duran the catch, 1 down.
Have you ever heard the notion that when guys even pop the ball up and it goes really high, that it's an indication of bat speed or potential? Yeah, even with young kids playing, I remember coming up, some of the kids just hit higher pop-ups, even if it was in the infield. And then I once had a scout say, yep, no, that can be a thing. So I guess it is. I've never been a scout, but it seemed to play. We know he has a lot of pop.
We do, right? 24 homers, easily the club leader, has been most of the season. Andres Jimenez with a fly ball to right, his first time up. That's going to get into right field. Jimenez will stop at first. He's aboard with a 1-out single.
Well, he tried to come in with another sinker, and Jimenez saw that in his first at-bat, and maybe he went up looking a little bit this time. Good tight turn as he really turned on that baseball, getting the barrel to it, pulling those hands in tight. Hits this ball hard just off the glove of Contreras.
So runner at first, 1 down for Ernie Clement, who has knocked in the only run of the night with a base hit back in the second. Just outside, 1-0. And good patience by Clement, a notorious free swinger. Lays off a couple of pitches, and it's 2-0. Maybe he's got one thing and one thing only in mind that he's looking for this at bat. Down and back, 2-1.
Pretty aggressive swing.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Yeah.
92 up in the zone. And Jimenez draws a throw.
Keeping an eye on Ernie's swing to see if this is a consistent approach he's going with here. Wide open right side, the way he's been staying inside the baseball a little more.
He's popped this one up in foul territory. Durbin and Rutschman both there. Rutschman the catch for out number 2. Somebody in the Blue Jay dugout may have said something that made him laugh after that catch. Might have been the skipper, don't know.
Well, you're not going to generally get any help as a catcher or corner infielder when you go by the opposing team's dugout, but I'm sure they weren't saying, you've got lots, Adley, you've got lots before the dugout. No, they're probably saying, watch it, really.
I think it was Schneider. Don't know what he said, but he made Rutschman laugh. And he did it after the catch.
Of course.
So 2 down. Here's Jesus Sanchez, who walked in the second inning.
Would have been his manager in the All-Star game, right?
Was Adley physically there, or was he on the IL at that time? I think he might have been on the IL. Oh, no, he might have been there. He wasn't gone that long. He might have been there. I think you're right.
We'll have to see if there's a little history there.
Yeah.
Other than just playing against him in the IL East.
This is the situation a couple of innings ago. 2 outs, runner at first, where Clement stole second. Let's see if Jimenez is thinking about it. He was thinking about it all right. But he got out there too early, had to shut it down, and now Sanchez lifts a fly ball to left center. Rafaela the catch to end the inning. In honor of International Youth Day, please welcome YMCA of Greater Toronto, our Rogers Screen Break guests. Rogers Screen Break is helping teens and families build healthier screen habits and find more balance beyond the screen. Learn more at rogers.com/screenbreak. Another huge crowd here again, 40,000 plus easily at Rogers Center. That's one of the things the new guys have been talking about.
Everybody.
Yeah. Whether it's Josh Smith, who's been in the majors before, or Brett Bateman, who is new to the big leagues. I mean, they're like Monday night and Tuesday night and went like every night. And we're like, yeah, that's the way it's been. And again, just a huge tip of the cap to the fan base of this team.
And we hear it from the other teams that come in. You know, the odd player from the other team will talk about that. You guys get 40,000 in here on weeknights? Like, yep, they just keep on coming.
1-0 Blue Jays top 5. Wilson Contreras swing and a miss. And it is 1-1. We haven't talked that much about the curveball. Soriano hasn't thrown many of them, but you can see what kind of a pitch it can be.
And it's the pitch that he used a lot in his first start as a Blue Jay.
Tonight's been much more of that.
Yep.
That hard, heavy sinker.
We were wondering if it was more matchup oriented against the Phillies. Clearly it was, and now that doesn't mean the second time through the order he can change things up a bit, but heavy fastball usage tonight with the sinker, mixing in the four-seamer as well.
Pulled foul. Soriano has faced the minimum through 4. He walked a batter in the 3rd, but that was erased on a double play ball, and he gave up a base hit to Rafaela in the 4th. But Rafaela was out trying to go 1st to 3rd on a wild pitch, so Soriano's only faced 12 batters through 4 innings. And the pitch count is very efficient, and that is music to Pete Walker's ears, because the bullpen, as everybody knows, has been taxed heavily, and they would love to get a long outing here from Soriano. Full count.
Saw a lot of curveballs like that in his first start. It was a very impressive pitch. He can really spin the baseball. And when you can do that to righties with that power sinker that he has diving down and in, 2 different directions, 2 very different speeds. Tough on righties.
Fouled off, still 3-2.
He's been very tough on right-handed hitters this season. In his career, it's been pretty even righties and lefties, but lefties have gotten to him a little bit more. But I think part of that too is that four-seamer that we're not seeing as much of to left-handers. 6 home runs lefties have hit off him just on that four-seam fastball.
Like, this is the kind of guy, when people like you and me look ahead of a series and say, oh boy, the Rays have Rasmussen and McClanahan going, the Yankees have Cole and Schlittler, the Red Sox have this guy and that guy. This is the kind of guy who's in that category where other teams will look ahead and say, oh boy, Soriano's going. Maybe not always at that level, but certainly the ceiling is that high. Here's one driven to deep left field, no doubt about it. Contreras got a hanging curveball and launches it for his 24th home run of the season.
It's still not a bad pitch on the outside edge, but he had seen it earlier in the at-bat, maybe looking for it. I don't think you're doing that with a full count. If he's just reacting, he reacted pretty well. Covered that pitch on the outside, and Soriano knew it right when he hit it. It's a very dangerous bat. When he squares it up, it's probably not coming back.
Yeah, actually a little more down, a little more away than I thought it was, but give credit to the hitter there to tie the game at 1. And here's Wilyer Abreu.
I do think when you see a few of those earlier in the at-bat, and again, you're talking about a very, very good hitter in Contreras, you see the spin, you kind of measure it up a little bit. Makes your timing that much better when you do connect.
Caught at third by McAdoo, and Abreu retired for out number 1.
Well, we said that Wilson Contreras has cooled off a bit, but he has been a very, very good hitter for this best Boston Red Sox club this season, and he knew it right away, looking into his buddies in the dugout, trying to encourage them on. These Red Sox have trying to get back on track.
They've lost 4 in a row after that remarkable hot streak. Haven't scored many runs in those 4 games. Durbin struck out in the second. The Red Sox still in the second wild card spot in the American League, 4.5 ahead of the Texas Rangers, who occupy the final playoff spot at the moment. And the Red Sox may get some guys back. Durbin looks like something might be bothering him. Chad Tracy's a little bit concerned, and he's thinking about coming out. I don't know if it was a hand, but something on that swing did not feel right to Caleb Durbin.
Left hand.
Does the bat come off the hand because you injured it, or is it the hand coming off the bat that causes the injury?
I think
you're going through some swings here with your bottom hand.
I'm left-handed.
You're the other way, yeah.
So I'm going like this. My right hand would hang onto the bat, the left would come off. So for him, the left would stay on, and if it comes off, that's awkward, right? So he certainly felt something.
Yeah, he has convinced them he's all right, or good enough to stay in the game.
This is what's tough on a hitter, because you're not getting free swings. You can't go take 2 minutes of batting practice before the next pitch.
And you never know how the next swing is going to feel. But
I say stay hard with the fastball again. It's not good.
No, he is feeling it again, and
he's done.
Yeah. He just dropped the bat.
He broke the bat, but I'm not sure he wants a new bat.
Oh, you're right. Well, so he is staying in. My mistake.
No,
he broke the bat. He is staying in.
I thought it was both, because I think he knew he broke the bat, but he also grabbed his hand.
Yeah. I thought that was okay. I felt it again, and I think
he
we're
did.
done. But yeah.
Combination of both. So he breaks the bat, but you know what hurt again? See right there, he kind of shook it out again.
And then he lines one to left and comes up with a base hit.
Wow.
So give Durbin some credit for hanging in there and finding a way.
That's amazing, getting to that fastball up and in when you're having those hand issues. Didn't seem to feel it there. Maybe you feel it more when you foul it off or miss it. Really pulled the hands in tight that time. He's got a very tight turn. You see how close his arms stay towards his body. He'll try to develop that bat speed.
Got the ability to steal a base as well. The batter is Jarren Duran. Duran struck out in the third. Started to mention the Red Sox figure to get some guys back from within off the IL as they hope to finish strong. Trevor Story looks like he is going to return. Roman Anthony, the young outfielder, is getting close. The great unknown is Garrett Crochet, who has missed most of the season. All-star caliber starting pitcher. Line drive right field. Back to make the play is Bateman, who is normally a center fielder but is in a corner here tonight with Straw in center, but looked very comfortable there. 2 down.
First major league start in right field for Brett Bateman tonight. All 5 of his starts have come in center. He's played some right field in the minor leagues, but much more of a center fielder in his career.
So 2 down. The story on Crochet is he may return, but it could be as a reliever if they don't have enough time to get him stretched out. And I'm sure they'd love him to be a starter, but if that can't be done, how about adding that kind of an arm into your leverage group in the bullpen
with Chapman? A pair of lefties back there.
Andrew Monasterio walked in the first, was erased on a double play. Takes a curve low. It's 1-1. And there's the sinker, more running in than going straight down. Monasterio swings over the top of it. Ahead 1-2. And it's lifted to center. Should be routine for Miles Straw. And that's that. The Contreras homer ties it. It's 1-1 through 4.5, and time for an update with Jamie Campbell. Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get ahead, you could win exclusive 50th season prizes. Visit Rogers.com today. Along with Joe Siddall and Hazel May, I'm Dan Schulman. Glad you were along with us. The Blue Jays trying to make it 3 in a row over the Red Sox, and everybody's in the spirit tonight. A little singing, a little dancing, a full house, a roof over their heads. And here's Miles Straw to lead it off against Ranger Suarez. Straw thinking about dropping a bunt down, takes it high, ball 1. In there, 1-1.
It's as though these righties have to pick a side, I think, with Suarez. It's not necessarily a pitch you're looking for, but you're either looking middle away, generally the backdoor breaking balls or the changeups, or middle in with that four-seamer and cutter. But to try to cover it all in the different speeds, that seems to be the biggest challenge.
Well, and you can see how he makes guys uncertain.
Yeah.
Straw there with a check swing foul off, and then gently tapped his batting helmet with his bat as if to say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is not my game plan. But Suarez can get you off your game plan. Be interesting to see how far he goes. Again, just his 4th start off the IL. Went 70 pitches his last time out. He's at 70 right now. He knocks it down, picks it up, throws him out.
Pitchers are always taught to finish their delivery in a pretty good fielding position because you can only help yourself. Suarez helped himself there. Finishes that delivery. See a really good position. Almost looks like an infielder as soon as he finishes his delivery.
Yeah. If he doesn't get a glove on that, that's got a chance to go up the middle. Here's Charles McAdoo, who has struck out and lined out. 1 run, 3 hits for the Red Sox. 1 run, 4 hits for the Blue Jays. Well, these Blue Jays are going to see some pitching in the next week and a half. Peyton Tolley, who struck out 14 his last time out, will start for the Red Sox tomorrow. It looks like both Garrett Cole and Cam Schlittler will pitch over the weekend for the Yankees. It looks like Drew Rasmussen and Shane McClanahan are both lined up at the Tampa series. This one will drop into right, a base hit. And then Schlittler again in the Bronx next week. They're not getting an all-star every day, but they're getting an all-star caliber pitcher more often than not over the next 10 days.
And I'm sure guys like Charles McAdoo will see from this quality pitching what he's seeing from the Red Sox as well. Clearly trying to pound him inside tonight, so he did adjust, able to pull those hands in. But when you're seeing the likes of Coles and Schlittlers, it is top-notch stuff. So you're going to have to look to an area and see what they're trying to do to you.
Here's Brett Bateman. And he gets it past Suarez. Is that enough? It sure is. A bunt single for Bateman.
Just an outstanding bunt by Bateman, left on left. If you can get it past the pitcher with his speed, it's probably going to be a base hit. My concern at first was the runner to see if McAdoo was getting in the way of the fielder at all. Remember, as a base runner, you have to allow the fielder to come field the baseball. But no obstruction whatsoever, just a perfectly placed bunt.
Boy, if Brett Bateman's not careful, he's going to become very popular very quickly. Putting the bat on the ball, good speed, plays defense, bunt hit. McAdoo likes it.
Kids at the top of the line.
Whoever would have guessed that two rookies would be at the top of the order for the Blue Jays right now. McAdoo heading back to second base, but they are both handling themselves very well right now. And it's first and second, one out for Guerrero. Vladdy flied out in the first, had a base hit up the middle in the third. Inside, ball one. That meeting on the mound for the Red Sox did not coincide with anybody getting up in the bullpen. It's still all quiet down there. That's high, and it's 2-0. You'd love to be able to be inside Vladdy's head right now and just what's he thinking about? What's he looking for? Is he going to be uber selective here on this pitch? Did he check it? It looked like he did. There's no appeal. It's 3-0. Boy, does this crowd want it for him. Takes a strike, 3-1.
It was interesting early because his previous at-bats he'd been mostly staying away, and then he tried to do that up and in stuff. And see if he tries it again. 3-1, trying to crowd him.
Huge cut, and he fouled it back, 3-2.
And it was the cutter trying to run it in there. Didn't get it all the way in there. Pretty good swing by Vladdy, but just tied him up enough.
Suarez shakes off Rutschman. McAdoo the lead at second. Bateman at first. One out and a full count on Guerrero. And it's lined to right field. It is caught. And the throw back to first is going to double off Bateman. Wilyer Abreu with a great sliding catch. And that is a line out for a double play unless the Blue Jays challenge whether it was caught out and right or whether it was a trap. John Schneider is looking back. There's no challenge. Abreu with a great play. And that is that for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the fifth. One of the best out and right. A two-time Gold Glover shows you why.
Welcome back to the Jays Care broadcast auction. And yes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a David Arrigo painting of the past 50 seasons of Blue Jays iconic moments, it's priceless. Although you can bid on it for a price tonight in the auction, but David has managed to get all of the moments over the history over the past 50 years. The snow at Exhibition Stadium in the corner, of course, Joe Carter in the '93 World Series win, Pat Borders MVP, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, you've got it all. Roy Halladay, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So this is such a beautiful piece of work that you can buy. You can also buy smaller replicas. There's two different sizes. One is going for $50 and another price at $100. So if you don't have the big space for that, definitely you'll want to take advantage of the smaller sizes. So BlueJays.com/auctions. Dan?
Ivanka, love that.
Spectacular piece of art, eh?
Yeah, for one of those.
Wow.
Underway here in the sixth inning in a 1-1 tie. Let's go back to the bottom of the 5th and that line out for a double play.
Well, Vladdy hit this ball very hard, and you're not expecting him to come in and make this catch, but as a base runner, you have to make sure. Now, if he comes in and short hops that ball, you're kind of stuck in no man's land anyway if you're Brett Bateman, but you just don't want to get doubled off in that situation.
Hit weakly up the first baseline. It goes foul. Yeah, if Abreu traps it cleanly, so to speak, then Bateman might be out at second, but
you just have to be sure, though, and you know when Vladdy's hitting, it's on a line, so it's going to carry. Plus, you've got an excellent right fielder out there, so Bateman will be kicking himself for that one. Just got out there a little too far.
A couple of strikes on Nick Sogard to begin the 6th inning. Grounded into a double play in his lone previous at bat tonight. Curveball. Much more of a weapon for Soriano against the Phillies than it's been so far here tonight. And another pitch beaten into the ground. That is the splitter there. We haven't talked much about the splitter. How does that fit in?
Well, it's very nice against left-handers, and I think we're starting to see it a little bit more this second time through the lineup to these left-handed hitters. Talk about him being pretty sinker heavy. That's another secondary weapon, especially for the lefties because of the action.
This is lined into right center, and Sogard is going to reach a big turn, but Bateman will get it back in time to hold him to a single. And some activity now in the Red Sox pen, so maybe Suarez is done. Righty Justin Slayton has gotten up. Leadoff man aboard, and top of the order, Masataka Yoshida, 0 for 2. Right in on his hands. It is dropping just foul. McAdoo was playing off the line and just unable to get there before it fell.
Yeah, that's too bad. He made a great pitch right where Kirk wanted it, in on his hands. And you thought maybe it was in the air enough for McAdoo to get there, but he's way over by shortstop with 2 strikes on a left-handed hitter.
Great pitch, a splitter down and away to strike out Yoshida.
Good run on that pitch. It's got downward action, but also action away from that left-handed hitter. Just takes off on Yoshida.
4th strikeout of the night for Soriano. The batter now, Rafaela, who struck out in the 1st, had a base hit in the 4th. He went after it, fouled it off, 0-1.
Sogard not trying to run, and that's one thing Soriano brings too. He's a starting pitcher that does an excellent job holding runners and controlling that running game. He's done that throughout his career. Pretty quick to the plate with his delivery.
One of those little things that can be a very big thing in certain moments in close games.
You know, it's not a big thing until it is,
right.
Because when you see teams like the Rays come in here and they're running wild, and then you see how not controlling a running game can lose you ball games. And last night, Alejandro Kirk threw a guy out basically because Braden Fisher gave him a chance.
Went around, and it's 1-2. pitches now for Soriano. Fouled off, and Kirk's going to have to walk this one off.
Why does it always miss the equipment? Just inside that left calf.
You can see William Trainer, the home plate umpire, is giving Kirk a lot of time. Walked the ball out to the mound, got some fresh baseballs, dusted off the plate. This is all professional courtesy here for Kirk.
I used to do that, and the umpire would say, it'll stop hurting when the pain goes away. So thanks a lot. Play ball.
A long hold. And a ground ball back to the mound. Soriano gets the lead runner, but they can't turn two. Guerrero says don't challenge. He's safe. But again, as we just get to learn Jose Soriano more again, he did that very well. He appears to be, we saw him in the rundown before, he appears to be able to field his position well.
Saw him in the rundown. We're seeing him hold runners very well. He makes this backhand stab, but look at the throw. He fired a strike to Ernie at second base, and it doesn't sound like much, but not a lot of pitchers execute that as perfectly as he just did.
So 2 down. Rafaela, who's got 16 stolen bases on the season, is at first, and the batter is Adley Rutschman, 0 for 2 on a couple of groundouts. A splitter down and away. It's 1-0.
Be interesting to see if Rafaela doesn't give it a shot with 2 outs. Try to get in scoring position for Rutschman.
Not going here. 2-0.
And if he's not, that speaks volumes too. It tells you what the other team thinks of the combination, the battery here with Soriano and Kirk.
Because in general, the Red Sox are an aggressive base running team or base stealing team. They like to, they've got the guys to do it, and they like to get after it.
But as most coaches will say, you don't run just for the sake of running. You want the timing to be right. And if Soriano's doing a great job and he's fairly quick to the plate, Kirk does his job. Not worth a gamble.
2-0 the count. And that's right at the knees for a strike. 2-1. I wonder if Rutschman thought about it, declined challenging, and it goes the Blue Jays way.
I'm sure he did. That's as close as it's going to get.
Yeah. That one a little bit too low. 3-1. Boy, and you've got Wilson Contreras on deck, who homered his last time up.
Boy, it's hard to get Adley to give in, isn't it?
He's always been like that since he showed up in the big leagues. Not close. All the way to the backstop for ball 4. And now Soriano's going to have to face Contreras with a couple of men on. And Pete Walker out to the mound.
Discover the magic of BetMGM Casino. Check out a wide variety of table games with a live dealer, roulette, blackjack, and more. Download the BetMGM Ontario app. Please gamble responsibly.
So it's a tight one here at Rogers Center, all tied up at 1. Game 3 of 4 in this series. The Blue Jays have won the first 2. Both of these teams have specialized playing in very close games recently, and they've got another one going here tonight.
Is that a specialty?
I don't know if it's a specialty they want.
Not ideal for managers.
No. Each of the last 7 games for the Blue Jays has been decided by either 1 or 2 runs. Oof. 4 of the 7 have gone into extra innings. And one way or another, we may look back on this at bat as the at bat of the ball game right here. Pete Walker's on the phone. Jose Soriano facing Wilson Contreras with 2 on and 2 out.
You know, last night Brendan Little came in and struck out Wilyer Abreu in a key 7th inning at bat. I thought the game was on the line there, and you're right about that. This is a big one here with Contreras, who's already homered.
Did it off a curveball. Bounces it foul into the Blue Jays dugout. 0-1.
I think you're still going to, I wonder what that meeting was about with Pete, but I'm sure you're still going to mix it up. You can't just go sinkers all at bat. I think he'll mix in the curveball still, but may want to get him out with that sinker. There's a good one up and in, breaking his bat.
Yeah, the only thing that one can do is hurt your hands.
Yeah.
It's 0-2. Chase Lee and Mason Fluharty have both gotten up.
Getting ahead with those sinkers now might open the door for a couple of curveballs down and away, maybe try to get him to chase. If he doesn't, then you run a sinker back in there. So this is how they're thinking. A couple of pitches in advance.
Trying to put him away. A 2-strike count on Contreras. Ground ball down to third. McAdoo up with it and throws him out. A big out to retire the Red Sox here in the 6th.
Welcome back. Well, Dan and Joe were talking about the big crowds earlier at Rogers Center. John Schneider asked the IT department to install a number of speakers in the Blue Jays dugout. When I asked him why he did that, he said it felt a little flat. He wanted to get the energy level up so when the music is pumping in and around the ballpark, the players get an earful. Schneider said he is trying anything and everything to keep the positive vibes going, guys. And Dan, he's also making good use of the resources here at Rogers Center. Guys.
Hazel, interesting. That's thank you very much. Did not know that.
Very cool,
but,
yeah.
John Schneider's mindset is in the stretch run already. It's like, how many games do they have left? 41, including tonight. It's kind of sprint time right now. Every game matters. He said the guardrails are off in terms of bullpen usage, and he was like, didn't you guys see the series in Philadelphia? And now they didn't have some choice there, right, because all of those extra inning games, but everybody is well aware of the urgency that exists already if they are to have any realistic chance of making the postseason. Tied at 1, bottom 6, Justin Slayton in from the Boston pen. Alejandro Kirk the batter. Runs a little bit in for ball 1.
After some earlier struggles, 10 of his last 12 outings have been scoreless. Cutter, 4-seam, he'll sink it as well.
Two 2-0. Kirk, Okamoto, and Jimenez due up here in the bottom of the 6th. One game involving other wild card contenders played this afternoon. Minnesota beat Baltimore 7-5. And both of those teams kind of right there with the Blue Jays. The loss by the Orioles actually drops them down into a tie with the Blue Jays. Both teams have identical records at 58 and 63. The Blue Jays have overtaken Seattle. They are tied with the Baltimore. They are still looking up at Cleveland, Minnesota, Detroit, and Texas in the wild card race. And of all the teams I just mentioned, they play all of them between now and the end of the regular season other than the Twins. And that's good news. It gives you a better chance. Yep. You know, you beat the team you're chasing.
Control your own destiny a little bit.
Yeah. Full count. The Guardians are playing the Tigers tonight. 6-3 Cleveland, top 7. The Yankees are hosting the Mariners. Seattle up 5-3, top 5 in the Bronx. Kirk went after it, but sends it foul right side. Yankees are here over the weekend. No Aaron Judge, no Giancarlo Stanton, no Cody Bellinger, all on the IL. Line drive left field and caught by a sliding Jarren Duran. The outfield defense for the Red Sox is as good, if not better, than any other team in the major leagues.
You've got Rafaela in center and Abreu in right. We've already seen their acts, but Jarren Duran, not a bad left fielder himself. Coming in, gets a good read to make the sliding catch.
Yeah, he is their, quote, worst defensive outfielder, and he's a plus defensive outfielder. The other two guys are just special, both Gold Glovers. Kaz Okamoto takes high ball 1. Doubled and scored in the second, flied out in the fourth. Challenge coming here from Rutschman.
Pitch ball, the catcher challenges.
And it'll remain a ball.
Call a ball is confirmed. Boston has 1 challenge remaining.
The Red Sox down to 1. During the break prior to this half inning, Jose Soriano making his way back into the Blue Jays dugout. And the handshake and the hug from John Schneider signifies the end of the night for Soriano in his home debut as a Blue Jay. Nothing wrong with 6 innings, 1 run against the Red Sox.
Much more efficient than his first start in Philadelphia. Threw 94 pitches and only went 4 2/3. So much better effort. And maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable in his new digs. Now he'll have a meeting with the professor.
You know, how about the job that Pete Walker and his staff have done this year? Given all the injuries they've had, they've used 32 different pitchers, and so many of them have been on the IL, especially in the rotation. And that this team, it's a good pitching team. They still go out and give their team a chance to win more often than not. That is just low. A walk for Okamoto. You know, even just go back a week, and within the last week, Savage goes on the IL, Tyone goes on the IL, and Arrighetti has a bit of a setback while on the IL. But they just keep figuring it out day to day.
They keep on keeping on, and that's what's very difficult. And coming into tonight, 3.98 team ERA, 11th in Major League Baseball.
You saw Savage and Tyone both in the dugout. Tyone on the IL with forearm inflammation. Savage had knee surgery.
And as an organization, you have to keep, you're adding because you've got guys getting hurt, and you've got to keep signing people, and it's just this revolving circle where you're just trying to make it work. But Pete and his staff have made it work.
By the way, Max Scherzer is going to start tomorrow afternoon in the finale. Max is 1 inning away from 3,000 in his career. We had a chance to talk to him in the dugout, in the clubhouse rather, yesterday. And that is a meaningful milestone for him.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And so were the strikeouts. Top 10 all time at something pretty special.
Jimenez gets under it, pops it up back of the plate. It's going to make its way back into the seats. Jimenez with a base hit his last time up to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. Lines it hard, but foul.
Talk about bullpen usage. Chad Tracy was asked last night after the game about his bullpen and were you thinking of going to your leverage guys, but he said it's so difficult if you're down 1 or you're down 2. Sure, you want to stay in it, but you don't want to use your leverage guys in those games because you want to make sure you've got them when you have a lead. And you're always playing that game. But, as fans, I'm sure you want all the leverage guys to pitch every night, but you just can't do that. So you have to pick your spots. When you're trailing, you're hoping you can just keep it at 1 or keep it at 2 without using those guys. Last night it was Guerrero, the one leverage guy that they used to stay in it.
0-2 again. Swing and a miss. Slayton gets Jimenez. Let's go to Ivanka.
Well, Dan and Joe, the 50-50 prize right now, the jackpot is over $933,000. I mean, in that Jimenez at bat alone, it grew by a few $1,000s. So no surprise, it is projected to surpass $1.5 million when the homestand ends and the winner is announced. In fact, I am really excited because I will be calling that winner on Sunday night. So make sure, if you live in a participating province, you get your 50-50 ticket at bluejays.com/5050.
Very nice. Love seeing that number rise as quickly as it does during a ball game.
That would be a fun phone call, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Ivanka, you have my number,
Yeah,
right?
you got mine, right? Yeah, we'll get those squared away.
Reaching for it, Clement taps it to short. They'll go the short way to force Okamoto and end the inning. 6 in the books at Rogers Center, still tied at 1.
Welcome back to the Jays Care broadcast auction. And of course, we know how talented Dylan Cease is on the mound, but he is also very skilled with a paintbrush. This is an original piece of artwork done by the pitcher. Did it himself. In fact, on a game day, he even stamped the date, August 1st, 26, put his name all over this, and you can tell it's very Toronto inspired. So a perfect addition for any art lover to their home or, of course, Blue Jays fan. Very talented dude, Dan.
Love that side of Dylan Cease. John Schneider's got a piece of Cease artwork up in his office here at Rogers Center, and good on Dylan for helping to raise money for Jays Care. That's cool. That is definitely a one-of-a-kind prize right there.
Absolutely. And he is very happy in his new home, and he's showing it through art. Mason Fluharty on now in relief of Soriano, and Mason's been on a nice little bit of a roll. 4 scoreless innings in this month of August.
And looks like he'll face 2 left-handed batters among his first 3 here to open the 7th. Wilyer Abreu leads it off. He's 0 for 2. Fluharty has actually had 2 consecutive days off. It's not often that Mason has been able to say that this year.
Well,
leads the majors in appearances.
Say that sentence very often this year.
Miles, Fisher, Little, and Lee all pitched last night. Varland and Rogers did not. How about the stat where in the last 5 victories for the Blue Jays, 5 different relievers have picked up the save? Like, could that ever have happened before?
With an all-star closer.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Popped him up. Ran it in on his hands. Jimenez the catch for out number 1. Now, Joe, what'd you think of Jose Soriano?
Well, the numbers speak volumes. He was excellent. I was more intrigued than anything tonight to see how he was going to be deploying his pitches. A lot of the sinker curveball combination that was kind of new in his last start against the Phillies. Curveball not so much tonight, but it was a lot of that sinker. So I think that's something that maybe something he's onto in a Blue Jays uniform. Hard, heavy sinker, and he was very good with it.
So an up high ball 1 to Caleb Durbin. Struck out his first time up. And then after an at bat where clearly twice he felt something in his left hand, some discomfort on swings, he wound up getting a base hit. To left field, here comes Sanchez, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
Stream every pitch on Canada's best and most reliable 5G Plus network. Visit Rogers.com today to get connected.
Mason Fluharty 2/3 of the way through the inning here, and another lefty-lefty matchup now. The second left-handed batter he's facing this inning. It's Jarren Duran. Duran 0 for 2. Checked his swing, and it's 2-0. Now foul back, 2-1. Got a wave going around Rogers Center. Up in the 500 level, heading down past the right field foul pole and out towards the outfield. Three and one. This is to center. It's playable. Straw's waiting, and he's got it. And a very nice 1-2-3 top of the 7th for Mason Fluharty.
We have an hour left in tonight's Jays Care broadcast auction, so plenty of time to get your bid in. And how about this for making an impression on your love interest, or maybe spicing up your relationship with having date night in the outfield at the Rogers Center? This is the way to go. You get a private dinner for 2 in the outfield, gear, Jays gear that you can also take pictures in because you'll have a photo session, and then a personalized message on the Videotron. And the winner last year, he actually used the video board to propose to his then girlfriend. And surprise, she said yes.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Ivanka. Boy, they've come up with some great stuff here this year. They always do, but wow. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 1-1 tie, and a new pitcher into the game for the Red Sox. Lefty Eric Miller, who the Red Sox picked up at the deadline from the Giants.
Big deal for the Red Sox. Marcelo Meyer going the other way. See the numbers on the season: 2.50 ERA in 41 games.
Sanchez chases.
Hard throwing left-hander. That average fastball, the sinker, 96.9. It's up there.
Big man, 6'5", 270. So Sanchez still in there against a lefty, and again probably only in there originally because George Springer's getting a night off. Now John Schneider said Springer is available. Maybe they're waiting for that one big spot late, or maybe, you know, the shoulder's just not feeling great right now, but Sanchez remains in the game to face a lefty reliever. Takes it down and away. After Sanchez, it'll be Straw and then McAdoo.
Mostly sinker slider from Miller, so it's 2 pitches as a left-hander. Maybe stay on that slider and just try to react to the sinker. So tough when it's 97, though. 98.
Wow.
No chance.
One down. In the Blue Jays bullpen, Tyler Rogers is up. Both he and Louis Varland should be available tonight. Rogers clearly is. He is up getting ready for the top of the 8th inning. The batter is Straw, 0 for 2. Thought about bunting, and is Rutschman challenging? So the ask is
called the ball, the catcher's challenge.
The ask was it a swing on the bunt attempt? The answer was no. So the pitch is a ball and Rutschman is challenging, and the answer is yes, it is a strike.
Ball's overturned. Boston has 1 challenge remaining.
So if the ruling had been Straw did not pull the bat back, then they never would have had to have used the challenge. So that's why William Traynor went down to first base to ask that first.
Perfectly executed.
Yes. drive to right field, a base hit for Straw.
Boy, Miles, for a guy that I talk a lot about looking to pull the baseball, he can go the other way very well too. Sinking fastball on the outside edge, but just stays on it very well, flattens that bat at the top of the zone. Drilling this ball into right and got speed on the bases.
He knows there's not going to be damage, extra base hits to the opposite field, but there are singles over there for him. And now let's see if he's in a running mood. Big hole on the right side as McAdoo steps in. McAdoo 1 for 3, had a base hit to right his last time up. And that was him asking William Trainer, would that have been called a strike? And you can see Trainer shaking his head.
Pretty close pitch either way, yeah. I don't think it's a pitch you want to swing on. Oh, that's the big part of it.
Now quickly 0-2. McAdoo got into the lineup on a Monday night when Okamoto was scratched, in there last night and tonight with lefties on the mound for the Red Sox, and another lefty, Peyton Tolley, is on the mound tomorrow. So McAdoo getting a lot of opportunities. This one will bounce away from Rutschman, and the wild pitch allows Straw to take second.
Well, nice break for the Blue Jays there. Adley Rutschman normally pretty good back there. Definitely good at receiving the baseball, but this it looked like it hit something there. Did it hit something?
It made a left turn.
Wait, a slider will do that, but it looked like it did a little bit more. There sometimes can be a piece of dirt. It could be the tip of the plate, anything there, but it looked like it took a sharp turn.
Little bit in, 2-2. You know, if you're used to Suarez, this is a step up here. Instead of 92, it's coming in 98 from the left side. Popped back our way, and we'll never see it again. It's up at the 500 level right above us.
Wow.
Don't see many up there. Straw the leadoff second, representing the go-ahead run. And that's strike 3 called, and McAdoo knew it.
See a couple of those sliders, and it just slows down your tracking enough that this fastball is just by him. And he knew it right away. Just can't pull the trigger. 98 on the inside.
So it's going to be up to Brett Bateman, who was 1 for 3, had a bunt single his last time up, facing a hard-throwing lefty. Bateman, in obviously very limited opportunities, he's been in the big leagues less than a week. He is 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position at the big league level. It certainly appears from watching him and getting to know him a little bit, he's a low heart rate guy, and that heart rate stays low even in spots like this. 2-0.
He's the right guy to be at the plate in this situation right here. In talking to him, as you said, he seems very cerebral. I'm sure he has the information on Miller. He's looking for one pitch right here, and he knows a base hit can give his team a lead.
We found out today, visiting with him on the field during early BP, he is named Brett for his dad's favorite baseball player, George Brett. He's from Minnesota. The family Twins fans as he was growing up, but George Brett, his dad's favorite player. A chopper back to the mound. Miller's got it. And boy, that was close. They just do get him at first, but they get him nonetheless for out number 3. Tied at 1 at the end of 7, and time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Madison. Isn't the only thing that needs relief. When dry eyes are in play, look to Sustain Pro, the official dry eye symptom reliever of the Toronto Blue Jays. Tyler Rogers is on the mound here in this 1-1 tie.
Tyler Rogers pitched in game 1 of this series Monday night, a scoreless inning after Simeon Woods Richardson went 3 innings after Jamison Tyon's injury. The Blue Jays won that ball game 2-1, and he's trying to keep this thing all even to get his offense a chance.
Nathan Lucas has entered the game as this is hit up the third baseline. McAdoo not in time. Weak contact off the bat of Andrew Monasterio and enough speed to beat it out. And we see sometimes Rogers is victimized by that kind of a batted ball. Just the unusual nature of his pitches sometimes lends itself to this.
Cued it off the end of the bat.
Leadoff single Monasterio. Number 9 hitter Nick Sogard. McAdoo in at third. And again, a couple of defensive changes. Nathan Lucas has entered the game. He's in right. Brett Bateman has gone from right to left. And Jesus Sanchez is out of the game. Sanchez just hit last half inning. John Schneider putting his best defense in now. Ground ball over the head of Rogers. Jimenez charges the only play to first. They get him one down.
A nice play by Jimenez coming to get it. The unfortunate part is they couldn't get the lead runner, so now that go-ahead runner is in scoring position. Tyler went up but just came a bit short.
I'm sure neither of these facts will surprise people. Tyler Rogers has the highest ground ball rate in the majors and the second lowest average exit velocity in the majors.
I was going to say lots of soft contact too, and we've seen that, and he knows that's part of his game, and unfortunately sometimes it bites him, like that leadoff single this inning.
But he has had an outstanding year. He's got a 1.66 ERA. Yoshida the batter. And Rogers out in front 0-2. Kirk was getting ready to challenge, and then it was called a strike. Ground ball to the right side. More weak contact. Clement to play. 2 down. Monasterio to third. Infielders must love playing behind Tyler Rogers.
Oh, so fun. You know the ball is going to be put in play. You're on your toes every pitch.
But through no fault of his own, there's a runner standing at third. There are 2 outs. The batter was Cedar Rafaela, 1 for 3.
Trying to get him to expand. He will expand. He's been a little bit better in that regard, but earlier in the season he was swinging at anything and everything out of the zone, so maybe try to get him a little susceptible here with 2 strikes.
A bouncer weakly hit up the first baseline, just foul. Monasterio heads back to third. Rafaela makes his way back to the plate. 9 pitches, 9 strikes so far for Tyler Rogers. And another 0-2. Not the A swing.
It's not a comfortable at bat at all. Rafael is telling us that with his body language. We keep talking about the ground balls, the soft contact and all, and now you've got a guy that can run. So infielders on your toes.
Popped up right at Guerrero. Nicely done, Tyler Rogers. On to the bottom of the 8th. Third game of 4 between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, and it is still a 1-1 tie. Well pitched game on both sides. The Blue Jays coming up now in the bottom of the 8th. Pretty shot of downtown Toronto here tonight. Roof closed at the ballpark this evening. And here is, for the second night in a row, the hard-throwing righty Tyrone Guerrero.
He is the one leverage reliever that Chad Tracy did use last night. 30 games this season. He has been outstanding through a perfect 7th inning last night, and he saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy flied out to center field.
He'll see Guerrero, Kirk, and Okamoto here in the bottom of the 8th. So it's a battle of Guerreros here in this tie game. Outside for ball 1. Guerrero tonight 1 for 3. Flied out to right, base hit to center, and lined into a double play. Outside again.
This is where I take a pitch. You got a guy like this coming out of the bullpen. Never know, maybe he's just not feeling right, missing the zone twice like that. Don't help him by swinging at that borderline pitch.
Down the right field line, foul, 2-1. Right at the top of the zone at 99.
Of course, I would never say that when Vladdy is Vladdy.
Right.
But at this point in time.
Up the middle, a base hit. And Guerrero is aboard to begin the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Vladdy staying in the middle of the field. He gets right on this pitch. Right back through the box.
His second hit of the night. A little pump of the fist on his way down to first. Getting some information from Mark Budzinski as Alejandro Kirk steps in. Kirk 0 for 3. To right field, it'll do the job. A base hit for Kirk. And it's 2 on with nobody out. Josh Smith got a helmet on. Might they ask him to run at some point this inning? You've got Guerrero at second, Kirk at first, nobody out.
Little bloop single by Kirk. Watch Vladdy going around second. He's deking Abreu here, trying to draw a throw and pretend he's going. You never know when an outfielder might come up and fire one, but there's a lot of action going on in this Blue Jays dugout right now. There will be a pinch runner for Kirk.
Valenzuela is going to run for Kirk. So they're not burning 2 players here because Valenzuela's got to stay in and catch, and they still have Josh Smith for whatever they might want him for going forward. What an opportunity. 2 on, nobody out. The batter is Kazuma Okamoto, 1 for 2 with a walk. Okamoto's had his best success this year against fastballs, and he's going to get some in this at bat.
Gear it up. It's the sinker too, oftentimes middle in.
The 1-0. A called strike in the outside corner. Ooh, he had a pretty good hack at that one. Fouled it back, 1-2. Springer and company looking on from the third base dugout. The 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2.
You'd think if he's going to go to the slider, it would have been 1-2. I think you just sell out on the fastball against this guy, and if he goes slider, so be it.
Got the fastball fastball, pops it up back of first. Infield fly rule in effect. The ball is foul. The ball is foul. The infield fly rule is if fair. So that should not be an out. That is just going to be a dropped ball and a foul ball. Had that ball, the infield fly rule was in effect. So if it's fair, the batter would have been out. But because it's foul, it is not an out. And Okamoto is still at the plate.
You're exactly right, Dan. I remember my umpiring days as a kid. Infield fly rule, batters out if fair.
Right.
But I think Vladdy might have been trying to negotiate over here, thinking, did he catch it and exchange and drop the exchange because he ended up at third base? But clearly never a catch.
So it's still 2-2. Can the Blue Jays take advantage? Left center field, dropping. It's a base hit. Guerrero is getting the wave. Safe. And the Blue Jays have the lead.
Guerrero goes soft down in the bottom of the zone, but does a good job staying on this ball. And keep an eye on Vladdy. He's thinking. That's a really good read. A lot of runners off second base may not have committed the way Vladdy did. He knew where his outfielders were. He took off rather early, and he needed every step of it.
Watch the Superman slide. He got airborne early, and he got there in time, and he is fired up. You'll get a great look at it here. Great slide.
So often we talk about the secondary lead of the runner on second base and the read of the baseball and how it could be the difference in safe and out of the plate. That was the difference. A great read.
And how about if you're the Red Sox, that drop ball by Contreras? Obviously he makes the catch. Okamoto's out and they get the first out, and a pitch later Okamoto comes up with a huge RBI single. And with the throw coming to the plate, Valenzuela came to third. Okamoto went to second. So they've really got a chance here. Now Chad Tracy has come out on the field, trying to alert the umpire to something. Or is it an intentional walk? That's all it is, an intentional walk to Jimenez. This is interesting. Like, I get it, but Clement and Lucas, two great contact hitters, are coming up. You're setting up a force at the plate.
That's the big part of it, I think, yeah.
Clement 1 for 3, hit an RBI single in the second. Boy, Ernie scattered some fans right behind home plate with that foul ball. Up 1 and looking to break it open here in the bottom of the 8th. Slider down and away, 1-1. Valenzuela is at third. Okamoto is at second. Jimenez is at first. So just one more thing on the infield fly rule. You explained it already, but had the ball been fair, Okamoto's out.
Yes.
The infield fly rule would have been in effect, even though the ball was dropped. They caught a break that he dropped it, and they caught a break that it was foul.
Now, Vladdy looked like he was going to be at third base.
Right.
But the batter being out.
Not close, and it's 3-1.
Guerrero on back-to-back nights. He was all in the zone last night in his perfect inning.
Down the right field line, it is foul. Boy, there were runners everywhere. I mean, Jimenez might have caught Okamoto by third base if that ball had been fair.
Right off the bat, they knew it was not being caught.
Right.
Hopefully tucking it inside the line.
Infield in for the Red Sox, trying to cut down the lead runner at the plate. A full count on Clement. One other thing about Valenzuela here, with the infield in and a right-handed batter at the plate, Durbin is very close to third base. Valenzuela cannot get much of a lead off third at all in this situation.
He's going on everything, but you're right about that. It's going to be tight.
You want to stay away from the line drive double play. Ernie's battling.
Just trying to fight anything off. That pitch was way inside, but we know that's how Ernie hits.
Another 3-2. And another foul off. George Springer has entered the conversation. Yet again. Ball 4 to force in a run. Clement with a bases loaded walk, and it's 3-1.
Surprised he went to the slider. It's not a pitch that he throws very often. They know Clement is aggressive. Just didn't want to go back to the sinker, but it wasn't close.
Tyron Guerrero does not get an out. Gives up 3 hits and 2 walks. The Blue Jays have scored twice and are looking for more.
This place is absolutely electric. Okay, don't forget, the Jays Care broadcast auction closes in about 30 minutes time, 10 o'clock Eastern. There's so many items that you can bid on, more than 50, including the Rollins Heart of the Hide leather chair, and also buy now items. David Arrigo replica paintings of 50 seasons commemorative painting. This is one of the replicas, going for $50 and $100. You can find all the information, all the bidding details at bluejays.com/auctions. Again, about a half an hour left. So back to you, Dan and Joe.
Ivanka, thank you. What a ball game this is. 3-1 Blue Jays now, bottom of the 8th. They've got the bases loaded, nobody out, and that guy right there.
Not Buck.
Not that guy, no. The guy beside Buck. George Springer has been announced into the game as a pinch hitter.
And he will face Alec Gamboa, who was just recalled from AAA today. Welcome back to the big leagues, young man.
So he is pinch hitting for Nathan Lucas. Get a right-handed batter in there against the lefty Alec Gamboa. And they've still got Josh Smith to go play the outfield if they want, if Springer's not going to go out there. But first things first, 8th major league appearance for Gamboa. The Blue Jays looking for one big hit. Down and in, ball 1.
Remember that Sanchez at bat in the 7th inning, and you were saying maybe they're waiting for a bigger spot for George? This is a bigger spot. You nailed it.
Driven to center field. Rafael is setting up. He'll make the catch. Okamoto's going to tag and score, and it's 4-1.
Trained professional right there. George Springer steps in. He gets a pitch he can handle. Gamboa leaves a fastball right in the middle of the plate. That's easy pickings. Sac fly, cashing in a huge insurance run.
Just the first out here in the bottom of the 8th, and they've still got runners at first and second. Jimenez at second, Clement at first. And here's Miles Straw, who is 1 for 3. They're in on the corners, back up the middle. Guerrero singled, Kirk singled, Okamoto, after the Blue Jays caught a break, an RBI single, a walk to Jimenez, and a bases loaded walk to Clement, then the Springer sac fly. Now Straw lines it hard up the alley in left center, and it's going to the wall. Jimenez will come in, Clement right behind him, and it's 6-1.
About Miles Straw coming through again. Right off the bat, this ball's in the left center gap. It's a fastball in the inside part of the plate and was all over it. Last at bat goes to right center. This time goes to left center, gap to gap.
A 5-run inning here for the Blue Jays. McAdoo fights it off and drops it into right for a base hit. Straw had to make sure, so he'll stop at third.
Miles was making sure. I don't think there is any doubt from our vantage point that this ball was dropping, but he was playing it safe. Big inning for the Blue Jays, 6-1, but he wants to make sure.
So first and third, one out. Brett Bateman's got a bunt single already. Are they thinking of maybe first and third safety squeeze here?
Not a bad play.
Here it comes. Oh, and he's popped it up. He popped it up for out number 2. Boy, he gets it down almost automatic. They score a run, but he could not get it down. 2 down. Louis Varland was up, but after the hit by Straw, he sat down, and it looks like Matt Waldron will get the 9th. And John Schneider will try to win this game without having to use Varland. Here comes Guerrero, and he got this whole party started with a base hit up the middle. Inside, ball 1. Guerrero saw Gamboa twice in that outing. Gamboa had against the Blue Jays a couple of weeks ago and had a walk and an RBI single against him. Right center field, shallow. Abreu in to make the catch. But the Blue Jays erupt for 5 and take a 6-1 lead to the top of the 9th inning. Guerrero sliding in with the first run of that 5-run frame. Guys, thank you. The Blue Jays up 6-1 going to the 9th inning. A win here in this game will move them within 2 games of the Texas Rangers for the final playoff spot in the American League, pending the outcome of the Rangers game in Anaheim later tonight. Joe, that is not a sentence I thought I would be saying 2 or 3 weeks ago. At one point, the Blue Jays were 6.5 back of the final wild card spot about 3 weeks ago. They're now 2.5 back and leading in the 9th inning here tonight with Matt Waldron on the mound.
Matt Waldron was claimed off waivers by the Padres. He pitched in a couple of games in the Phillies series, a scoreless inning each time, and he will mix in a knuckleball to go with his other pitches. Also four-seam fastball, cutter, sinker, and sweeper.
Throws that knuckleball about 29% of the time and throws it at all kinds of different velocities as well. Anywhere from like 76 to 85.
Really changes and varies the speed of that pitch, and he told me he can manipulate a little bit, and he can actually command it to be in the zone pretty well.
So can you tell me, as you look at Brandon Valenzuela, is he wearing the knuckleball mitt that Waldron travels with him?
That's the one.
That's it.
That's the one that Alejandro Kirk did not wear the first time he caught Waldron, because it was a newer glove that wasn't quite broken in enough. So Alejandro went and grabbed the first baseman glove of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And if anybody was wondering, that was the knuckleball. Yeah. And look at the smile on Valenzuela. Valenzuela said, I thought it was going that way, but it went this way.
It's not a lot of fun catching these things. I, personal experience, don't like it at all. I don't envy the catchers having to catch it.
So catching a pitch you never have to catch with a glove you've never worn before.
That's the trick. Now, it's interesting. He's a knuckleball glove. That would be Waldron's glove that he'll carry around for his catcher. It's a bigger glove. It's probably close to the size of a first baseman's glove.
Strike 3 call.
Knuckleball.
Knuckleball for a strike. And Waldron told us when you and I talked with him 2-3 days ago, I think you asked him the question, can you command it well? Can you throw the knuckleball in the strike zone? And he said yes.
There it is right there. Yeah. And you can see even when that ball hit the glove, he hit the top tip of the glove. So you've got a lot of room for error there for that ball to go in, as opposed to a catcher's mitt that has the thick padding on both sides.
Here's Wilson Contreras. And one of the pivotal moments again at the bottom of the 8th inning was Contreras not catching the pop-up in foul territory off the bat of Okamoto. If he catches that, it's first and second, 1 out. And Joe, you never know. It could have been an entirely different inning.
Yep.
The 2-0. In there, the knees, 2-1. The most unusual thing about Waldron, I think, is that there aren't many knuckleballers. There were more in decades gone by, but almost everybody who threw a knuckleball a very high percentage of the time. Like literally 70, 80, 90% of the time, that was one there. But he is not that guy. It's about 30% of the time. And he told us he got a little bit of mentorship from Tim Wakefield, the late pitcher with the Boston Red Sox for so many years. Ball 4. And also, didn't he say he had a Zoom call with R.A. Dickey once to talk about the knuckleball?
Just to talk about it, yes. I was in spring training with the Red Sox in 2000, my last year playing, and Tim was with the Red Sox. I caught him in spring training a couple of times. And when I said personal experience, yeah, it's not a lot of fun because you really have to lay back and feel really relaxed. But now in this case, Waldron throws the other pitches as well. So it's an extra challenge for these catchers.
1 on, 1 out for Wilyer Abreu.
Just knock it down. Wakefield had his own glove too, so you're using a glove you've never used before. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Hardly any spin at all, and you see where it landed. It stuck his thumb first.
Hit pretty well to the opposite field. A long run, and Smith leaps but can't get to it. It's up against the wall. He'll hustle back in towards the infield to get it, but it's going to be a double for Abreu. Contreras is held at third. Smith just entering the game this half inning in left field.
Knuckleball fading away from the left-handed hitter, but he stayed on it very well. This ball just kept going. I'm not sure Smith thought it was going to go as far as it did, and he hit that wall pretty good, even though it's padded. Gave it every shot he could.
He is a super versatile guy, more of an infielder than an outfielder, as Louis Varland's getting up just in case. The batter, Caleb Durbin, the infield back. They'll give up a run to get an out. And this is going to get into shallow center. Didn't hit it hard, but hit it in the right spot from a Red Sox perspective. It's a base hit, and it's 6-2.
A little sinker ran in on the hands of Durbin, but he's able to muscle it just enough to get it up the middle and past Jimenez. Sinking fastball running in there, jammed him.
And Valenzuela's out to the mound to talk to Waldron and also to buy a little more time for Varland, who again was up earlier, sat down after the Blue Jays extended the lead. And it could be one more base runner, and that would be it. They would have to go to Varland. John Schneider would love to not have to use Varland tonight, but you got to lock down this win.
And I'm sure Valenzuela is glad that the Blue Jays have a 4-run lead right now catching Waldron, because now anything off your glove is a run too. As a catcher, you're thinking about it that way.
Jaron Duran is the batter. In there, 0-1. Check the swing up high. It's 1-1. Hit hard towards the right field corner, off the wall. Bateman giving chase. 1 run is home. It's an RBI double for Duran. Runners at second and third, and it's 6-3. And here comes John Schneider, and he will go to Varland. So they tried to get through the 9th inning with a 5-run lead. You can understand, obviously up by 5, wanting to rest Varland if you can, but Waldron unable to do it. He'll hand the ball to Schneider, who in turn is going to give it to Varland. The tying run will come to the plate. Welcome back. About 15 minutes left in the Jays Care auction. So many great prizes to bid on this very special night. Go to bluejays.com/auctions. Well, a little more than the Blue Jays bargained for here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 runs in for the Red Sox. 6-3. Runners at second and third, 1 out, and that has brought Louis Varland into the game.
Well, he is all-star Louis Varland. He came in and earned his 25th save of the season on Monday night, game 1 of this series, with a scoreless 9th inning after a leadoff double by Jaron Duran. It's been an outstanding season for Varland. His whip is just over 1. 45 hits and 17 walks in his 61 2/3 innings, and he is trying to lock down number 26 right here.
And he's going to face the 8 and 9 hitters for the Red Sox, Andrew Monasterio and Nick Sogard. He faced both of them on Monday. Struck out Monasterio. Sogard grounded out. Second and third, infield back. Again, the Blue Jays will give up a run to get an out. Grounded foul. A 5-run bottom of the 8th for the Blue Jays. 2 runs in for the Red Sox here in the top of the 9th. Popped up. Right center field. Bateman the catch. The throw heading towards third as the run comes in to score. So a sac fly from Monasterio. Durbin scores. Duran comes to third. It's 6-4 with 2 out.
And the Blue Jays are in the business of exchanging an out for a run right here, so that will work just beautifully. Now it's Louis against the hitter, the tying run, standing in the batter's box.
Sogard 1 for 3 tonight. Grounded out against Varland to end the game on a Monday night. He went after it. Boy, he was all over that, but he pulled it foul.
I think he's going up there looking for that fastball, right? When you see a swing like that.
So has he put the changeup in the mind of Louis Varland here?
I think he has.
Just low. It was indeed the changeup. It's a hard changeup. We see it anywhere from 93 to 95. McAdoo even with the bag. The rest of the infielders backed up. Ground ball right side. Clement to Guerrero, and the the Blue Jays have beaten the Red Sox 3 days in a row. Another save for Varland. They hang on through a nervous ninth, but they beat Boston again.
A nervous ninth indeed, but guess who comes to the rescue once again for the 26th time this season? Louis Varland saves the day for the Blue Jays, putting up a crooked number, 5 in the 8th inning. And usually when you do that, it's good enough for a W, and it was just enough tonight.
They have won 10 of their last 14 games, and at the moment they are 2 games back of the 3rd and final wild card spot in the American League. Time now for Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC with Ken and Faison.